April 26, 2013, we left for a 25-day trip starting in Dubai. Their airport was like a cathedral with the white pillars. Our full-day sightseeing of the city was on a double-decker bus. The flashy desert metropolis that has been compared to Las Vegas without gambling is about as unreal a city as they come. Dubai, the over-the-top fantasy world, is in the Arabian desert but has miles of coastline. It is at the crossroads between the Far East, Asia, Africa, and Europe, and is on the Persian Gulf. Our first stop was at Burj Al Arab. This landmark hotel that mimics the sail of a ship floats on its own man-made island. The building, that was completed in 1999, is 321 meters high. Its island is 300 meters from shore. The translucent fiberglass wall serves as a shield from the desert sun. You arrive and depart by helicopter, landing on one of 3 helipods. The local mall was impressive. The Palm Jumeirah, that sits off the coast of Dubai, is an artificial island shaped like a palm tree and houses a resort, hotel, and restaurants. The Palm Islands are considered by some to be the 8th wonder of the world. It was made from hundreds of millions of cubic meters of reclaimed land from the bottom of the Gulf. The islands are each designed in the shape of a palm tree, with a trunk, fronds, and crescent, adding a total of 323 miles of coastline to Dubai. The palm includes a 1¼ mile trunk, 17 fronds, and a 7-mile crescent that surrounds the island, creating a breakwater. A high-tech monorail runs from the base of the island to the crescent. In the area are some of the most extravagant and expensive villas in Dubai. Our next stop was at the Dubai Mall. It has shopping, dining, entertainment, aquarium, and fountains. There is an indoor skating rink and an underwater zoo. The 4 floors go way beyond retail therapy and is an integral part of the culture and lifestyle of Dubai. Home for the next 21 days was aboard the Nautica cruise ship. Built in 2000 and refurbished in 2010, she carries 684 guests in elegant comfort. Life on board is like staying in an upscale private country club. There were 6 restaurants to choose from, a fitness track, library, pool, spa, salon, card room, fitness center, styling salon, internet center, boutique shop, and medical center. We were on our way to our first optional tour stop. The 300-year-old Fujairah fort was used to defend and repel invaders. At 20 meters above sea level, it overlooks the city of Fujairah. The fort, constructed from mud, gravel, gypsum, and wood, was built during the period from 1500 to 1550 and rebuilt from 1650 to 1700, and was the first stone building along the coast. It served both as a defensive structure and home for the ruling family. The Fujairah Museum opened in 1991. It records the ancestral history and heritage through antiques found by excavation missions. The collection shows the daily lifestyle of the people and their instruments and tools. The Friday market is a roadside market with souvenirs, clay pots, and artifacts for sale. We stopped for a view in the high mountains of Masafi Pass. You would think we were on the moon with so little vegetation here. The next day's 8.5-hour tour of Muscat, Oman took us to the centuries-old Naki Fort, perched on a 200-foot high hilltop with spectacular views. There were 107 steps to the top of the watchtower. We saw the children's room, then the women's room, Our local guide was waiting to take us to our next stop. It was Naki Springs, a tranquil and picturesque area framed by majestic mountains and a dense green oasis. You can put your feet in the stream and the fish eat the dead skin off them. Our coach was taking us to our lunch stop. The Grand Hyatt Hotel was previously a sultan's palace. You could help yourself to chocolate on a marshmallow. Their pool looked inviting. What an impressive old fort we passed on our way to a museum. Beit al-Jubair is a private museum housing collections of traditional Oman items. No pictures were allowed inside. Outside was a model of the town of Oman, with streams and waterfalls. The souk was our last stop of the day. This is where locals go to purchase items for their daily needs. It was a maze-like marketplace with narrow alleys leading to private homes. We had a stop at a roadside stall for a refreshing drink of coconut milk. At the Al Hussein Souk, you could buy dates, handicrafts, souvenirs, and frankincense. The next 4 days were at sea, with time to enjoy shopping at the gift shop and relaxing at the afternoon tea. An amazing magician impressed us with his many tricks.
Just 4 tens. That's just the 4 tens. And then these I got before they were printed. Okay, so it's not like the newest stuff. I got them before they were printed. Now a whole lot of magic is going to happen all at once. One discrepancy. That's all right. I will take this blank. I will put it to this 10. As I touch it to this 10, I can actually turn that blank to that 10. Simple as that. If I take this blank and put it on the back of this 10, I can actually put that blank and actually suck the ink right off that 10. If I take this 10 to this blank and I touch them, then that will actually become a 10 there. Same thing here, there's the back. All I do is put that 10 there and I can actually make 2 10s. Just like that. If you get really, really crazy, you can take the club in the heart. I did this one night and it actually worked. I couldn't believe it. Isn't that crazy? And normally if that was a green table, then that would be green, and that's called printing. When I ask you, do you feel hypnotized, you will say no. But the fact is, you won't be able to tell the difference between these 2 coins. First, I rub the coins together. It has nothing to do with the trick. But the coins like it, so I do it. It's a little pleasure for the coins. But as I'm rubbing those coins together, that's when I'm hypnotizing you. And now, you can't tell the difference between those 2 coins. You see, that's the half, that's the quarter. But don't they look like they're exactly the same size? You feel hypnotized? Say no. What did I take? But all you have to do is take that quarter and rub the quarter on the half, and there's the quarter, there's the half. That's a trick called.
Our next port of call was Aqaba, in Saudi Arabia's only seaport. Geographically, Saudi Arabia consists of a central plateau with pastures for sheep and other livestock and fertile valleys. It also contains a range of deserts. Plentiful ancient aquifers exist beneath much of the area, and where this water surfaces, oases form and permit some agriculture. Since the climate is extremely hot and arid, the country has no forests. After our 2-hour drive from our ship, we arrived at the entrance to Petra. The archaeological site is reached through an ever-narrowing gorge 1,200 meters from here. You can get there by horseback, horse and cart, or by walking in the 100-degree temperature. The legendary lost city was carved into sheer rock more than 2,000 years ago. This remote, dead city is one of the great archaeological treasures in the world. You walk through a stunning, long, deep, narrow gorge, a natural geological feature formed from a deep split in the sandstone rocks. The cliffs either side are up to 80 meters high. This narrow gorge brings you to the highlight of Petra, which means Peter. The famous treasury is truly breathtaking. It was carved in the 1st century BC as a tomb of an important Nabatean king. The facade is 30 meters wide and 43 meters high. The buildings were carved from the top down and used the finished work as a stepping stone. The Nabateans transformed the forbidding desert into a bustling metropolis, with 31 monumental tombs carved directly into the rose-hued sandstone hills, as well as hundreds of other structures, including burial chambers, funerary banquet halls, residences, theaters, bath complexes, arched gates, and a complete system of water channels and reservoirs. Camel caravans passed through loaded with spices, textiles, and incense from distant regions, until a massive earthquake left the freestanding structure of Petra in ruins. The amphitheater was built in the 1st century AD. It could seat about 7,000. There was 3 to 5 miles of walking here. This is where Indiana Jones was filmed. Our trip to Luxor started with a drive through expanses of desert and barren mountains that are interspersed with areas of fertile farmland. 95% of Egypt is desert. We drove past these ruins of Luxor. We saw these riverside scenes on our way to the Nile Bridge. Then we continued on. In the distance, we could see Hatshepsut's temple. Built into the mountainside, it was for the only woman to rule as a pharaoh. We continued on past more ruins. These two massive statues are all that remain of the temple of Memnon. We are nearing our destination. At the Luxor Temple complex, you see a collection of statues, obelisks, and temples that date back to the 14th century BC. It used to have a village inside. A cartouche is an oval with a royal name inside. The oval line protects the owner from evil spirits. The Avenue of the Sphinx leads the way to the Temple of Luxor. The next day, we took a desert jeep safari for 3.5 hours in a Toyota Land Cruiser with 4 people sitting sidewise. We left the paved roads and drove onto the eastern Arabian desert. The desolate, rough terrain and stark, rock-strewn outcrops, the natural environment of the desert, made an interesting ride.
We're going to get out. Stopping up ahead. This is where we're going to get out.
It was good to stretch our legs after being bounced around in our 6 vehicles. Our tour of the remote Bedouin settlement was very hot in the sun. The local nomads come here to worship. A camel ride was an option. This 800-meter deep well is the reason the Bedouins settled here. After our tour of the settlement, it was a relief to get out of the hot sun.
If I talk about deserts in Egypt, it meaning I talk about something special in this country because we are talking about a country, 1,000,000 square kilometer, but 85% desert. 85% from 1,000,000 square kilometer, desert. The green area in Egypt, only the Nile, River Nile, the Nile Valley or the Nile Valley, from both of the sides. To get this information or to make it more easy or more interesting, I will draw the map. Delta, Alexandria, Port Said, Mediterranean Sea, Suez Canal, Red Sea, Sinai, Saint Catherine. By Saint Catherine, there is Catherine Mountain, and this is the highest mountain in all over Egypt, 2,800 meters high. 2,800 meters. Western Desert have a 5 oases. Kharga, Dakhla, Farafra, Bahariya, Siwa. Siwa is the biggest oasis in Egypt. The 5 oases, no water from the Nile, no water from the sea. If they have no water from Nile and no water from the sea, what about the water? What about the water? What about raining? It's raining there once every 25 years. Once in 25 years or 24 years. So much water from underground, springs, lakes, a water well. Siwa oasis, the biggest oasis in Egypt. What I want to say for you, Egypt, as I call it, is a big museum. Here in this desert, for example, when we say this mountain behind us is 1,000 meters, it's 1,000 meters from sea level, not from here. Because you are already here in this place, nearly 300 meters high from the sea level. 300 meters high from the sea level. We found volcanic stones, lava in this desert. The Romans, he was going up and down, up and down. This is the place where you are staying here now.
Huh.
I chose this place special for this. Because I chose the place by myself. So I chose this place special for this. Here they dig the oldest water well in all of Arabian desert, almost 2,415 years old, and they still use it until now, the Bedouin, after the Romans. They was building the columns on Claudianus. Porphyritus, where is staying the army, where is the jail, and the soldier, and the officer, and so on like this. And they built the columns on Claudianus. and transfer it. There is a Roman road. We found it. 160 kilometers to Safaga, to Qina, by the Nile. Roman road, 160 kilometers.
We watched a local woman making bread.
Man, he take his bride going home. When he's at home, he take off the burqa. If he's a lucky guy, he will have a beautiful girl. If he's not a lucky guy, should try one more time. Sure is not possible. Man and a woman, this is the tradition of the Islam, tradition of the Quran. Man and a woman should meet, see each other before they are married, know each other before they are married. Here, they are sitting together, but they sit with the family, not allowed to be alone. And the girl, she should take off her burqa and show herself, show her face, and they sit together several times. And they decide to marry, but don't forget in the end, oh, you are a lucky guy. But don't forget in the end, they are all cousins. All of them are cousins, as we see, that they are all.
Their gift shop was interesting. Our land cruiser took us back to our ship.